Hello, this is Timothy Bishop. October the... I think it's October 3rd, and it might be the 4th. No, today's October 3rd, because it's Sunday, October 4th was Sunday last year. So I can't believe it's actually exactly a year ago, and as far as weeks, I was making a tape. Well, a lot of stuff has happened since I made my last tape, and I wanted to tell you about it, like on the 24th and 27th of September, but I guess the biggest thing was that I did my speech in AP English. I did it on origami, how to make the Chinese box. No, they got a kick out of that topic, but my eye contact, absolutely S-U-C-K-E-D. So tubes is about all I got on that. We had to rate each other on a scale of 1 to 5, based on like eye contact, poise, voice quality, pronunciation, organization, all that stuff. And I couldn't bring myself to give anybody a 3. Well, I'll watch mine, I'll give myself a 3. I got a lot of 3s on stuff, but I got mostly 2s on eye contact. I got a few 1s. I have to give myself a 1. I absolutely didn't look at the audience. There's no way you can give me a 2. Some people have those weaknesses, you know, they just have to overcome them. So I guess the only thing I can do is get out my high school yearbook and look at each picture of each person in my English class, just sit and look at them for about 20 minutes. Until I turn blue in the face. Even if it makes me sick as a dog. I gotta learn to look those people in the eye. Stop worrying so much about what they see, you know. Shoot, whenever Carrie Drew was in her car that day and I came out there and saw her in her car, I looked away right away. I feel it was wait for or something. We'll see, on September 30th was our first day for speeches, so actually I got an extra day to practice. I didn't practice any that night, though. I didn't take advantage of the extra time that I had. I figured, well, as long as I got another hour or so, that's all I need. I guess that didn't turn out too good, but I went ahead and did it anyway. I don't know how I did. I got quite a few 5s, too, but I gave out mostly 5s also. And I put a few comments about food, because most people did food. Well, you should have heard Lisa's on. She was like, I've never seen her before. Physics, I never told you what we're having to do with this recycling thing, so gotta bring in 100 plastic items, 200 aluminum cans. We also have to bring in like 100 glass jars and 10 grocery bags packed with flat newspapers. Full. How we're ever gonna get that? I just got my first grocery bag today, for crying out loud at this rate. I won't even get one. Of course, all I gotta do is take that newspaper right there and give me some more. If you can't bring them in one at a time, I gotta bring all 10 at the same time. Bring them to Miss Davis's house. She says, I'm assuming that you all can drive yourselves, so you just bring them to my house. Little does she know I don't drive. I can't imagine what kind of responsibilities we're gonna get at college. Boy. I better as heck have my driver's license by then. Even then, I won't have a car. Besides, I can't assign you to do stuff with your cars. Besides, you know, what if they ask you, you know, does anybody in here not have a car? How do they expect anyone to raise his hand, you know? It's not possible. Anyway, let me see. Well, in economics, I finally sold 5 t-shirts and bought some stock. And, even though Friday was the deadline, he let me buy it anyway on Wednesday. Because the people kind of talked him into it. Even Jeff Culpepper was on my side with that. And he said it only costed everybody 40 cents, so that's pretty good. It's kind of hot in here. Maybe I should open the windows again. It's pretty cold outside. But anyway, well, what about Algebra 2? There was something in Algebra 2 I wanted to mention. I got the highest score on Tetris. The other day I went to that computer. Instead of going to the one on the very end, I went to the second one. And, started playing around with it. And, I decided I'd do the Olympics design by doing 5 circles. So I got the coordinates set and all the equations in. And then it said this cannot be held in the memory. And so I clicked OK, and it would beep and then put the same message back up again. And dadgummit, that stupid thing would not get back in normal mode again. So while everybody wasn't looking, I moved over to the other computer. And actually, I switched the chairs. I didn't move to a different chair because that'd be too hard. That required too much earthquake-shattering movement. So I just slid along with my chair and slid the other chair over to the next computer. Started playing Tetris and got a new high score of 77 something. 77-35 it might have been. So, oh well, anyway, I see what's going on in Spanish anyway. We're in the middle of a game of Wheel of Fortune. And, I don't know, I think they forgot to put an A up there somewhere because it was supposed to say Vana something. Had to have been Vana something. And they didn't put that A in the next word, so. Oh well, it could have been the C verb though, vain. Well, I don't care. Gossip shape is gonna be so boring, man. so rare that you get time alone, and then when you finally do get it, you can't make a good tape. You don't realize what a good point I have with that, but it is a good point if you think about it. If you don't care to think about it, you know. You're listening to a tape, so what? You don't have to think anymore when you're listening to a tape or when you're making one. That's why some of my tapes don't make sense either. I suggest you brush your teeth because I made myself get up in the middle of the night one night to do it. Because I said on tape somewhere. Well, anyway, you know that song I played on the keyboard for you back on September 19th? Well, I've been practicing that and I've gotten a lot faster and better at it. So I'm going to let you hear my new improved version of the song. And that verb came from the Mr. Pibb combined with Giant Coke. So here you go. There, how's that? Pretty good, huh? Actually, the first time I made a bunch of mistakes and I was getting ticked off. So I did it the second time. I did it pretty good and I started getting cocky. I was telling myself not to, but I did. You know, didn't really mess up too bad. But anyway, anyway, these things picking it up. Okay, all right. Well, anyway, I jacked off a little while ago. I put those socks over that picture of Mom and Steve because for some reason, if there's a picture of Mom and Steve looking at me, I'm too modest to even let that see it. Gee. See, that's another thing I regret about taping over this. I had something where the earphones came out of my mouth, came off of my mouth, and I went, "Come on, get on my mouth, man," something like that. Yeah, it was better than that though, because I was saying something about getting in the war. I said, if we do ever get in the war, I'm gonna be better off dead. And I'd been eating pork chops. Well, now I'm eating fudge strips or something. Jeez, if they ever want a punishment, that's a good punishment for me. That's not a surprise. That's a punishment right there. To make me sit out there and do nothing for 3 hours. And I did catch 2 or 3 fish. 2.5 actually, but that's not good enough when you know. Actually, it was pretty on that lake. I don't want to say pretty good or pretty fun. It was pretty. What can I say to that one? Craig came with us again, and we went up there, and I got an RC, and I got when we went into that golden pantry, he asked me, "What do you want?" And I said, "I'll just take a biscuit," and he thought I said steak biscuit, so that's what he got for me. Actually, it was pretty good. I might have another one of those. One of them, whatever. I don't know about that. See, Mom keeps calling me Mr. AP English every time I correct her grammatical errors. Stupid! On Friday, Miss Pritchett had to correct Gabriel. Was she correcting? She said, "Isn't that right, Tim?" Well, I need to take some Alka-Seltzer, I guess, huh? Well, Jody and Craig came over last night again. And they were playing cards, and I got shown the Johnny trick. I hope she didn't smell me, though, because I was stinking that night. I knew I'd forgotten to put on deodorant that morning before we went fishing, so I knew I smelled bad to her. I'm sure I did, huh? It's kind of humiliating. I was hoping I could do it over where Steve was. Of course, I knew he was pissed off at having to do card tricks instead of playing that repetitive, I doubt it. I even said that because I was playing Final Fantasy II, I was building experience, and I said, what kind of progression do you have in that game? You just do the same thing over and over and over again. Eventually somebody wins, and then you start over. At least when I'm doing this same thing over and over, killing these Beetlejuice things, at least you and your vain self, you know you're so happy that you got that memory in. Progression, you know. You don't go to a certain point, stop, and start over. It's not a circle, it's a straight line. It's go on forever. Of course, then again, who said God was infinite? You don't have to go forever to be infinite. A circle is infinite. Or the straight line could be infinite too, you know, unless it's a straight line. It's the absolute smallest thing you can get. Only because the human eye can't perceive what a line is. It's actually a line in a geometry book. There's an infinite number of lines in that. There's no limit to how small you can get. See, it all leads back to God. You know, there's no limit to how small you can get. You know, God can make it small if you want. And you can't get small enough, just like you can't believe in God. You can believe in God, but you know, if you can't believe in God until you can believe how small those lines get, which means infinite, which means you gotta believe beyond your human conception. You know? Well, I don't want to get into one of these preaches again, you know. But we watched Renegade last night, and they were trying to get this girls to They're trying to convince this girl's father that she wanted to do something. They said she should go for it and stop letting people control her. And her father heard it and he didn't like it. So later on he had to save their life. He had to save her life again before her father trusted him. So finally he did. Well, anyway. Only while we were on the lake fishing, I brought along some tapes and a Walkman and my Final Fantasy II instructions because I wanted to read about all that stuff I couldn't find. So. There's 2 more things on there. One of them's called Pink. I can't remember what the other one's called. Oh, I think it's Pan. I don't know what they're for. I don't know what to do with them. I haven't been able to find them yet. I'm sure one day I will, though. Boy, I was mad in AP English. Something happened. See, I brought that little bitty Walkman to school. My dad gave me that I found on the boat after I lost it about in the beginning of that month. I brought that thing to school because I was recording stuff. And while we were in AP English, Miss Pritchett got talking about embarrassing moments she's had. Talked about how she didn't know how to fill her car with gas, and she started getting to talking with Lisa Vaughn and all them. Oh no, here it comes! Record some of this, so I reached down for that Walkman and I hit the record button and started recording. And later on, I reached down to stop it. When I stopped it from recording, but I didn't stop the play button too, so it was playing. And I didn't know it until it started, until I suddenly heard something. It sounded like it was coming from Mrs. Bagel's room next door, so I was wondering what they were doing. And then after about 5 minutes of listening to this, I realized... You just love that word, this, don't you? Oh my gosh, wait a minute. Perhaps that's not coming from Mrs. Bagel's room, perhaps that's coming from my thing. So I listened a little bit closer, and dadgummit, it was that stupid thing. Dadgummit, I had to reach down in my backpack about 3 times before I finally got around to where I could stop it without looking suspicious. As Gabriel was right there behind me. I was ticked off of that. When I finally stopped it, though, the noise stopped, and it wasn't really that apparent, but I kept looking at Mrs. Bagel's room to keep from looking suspicious, because I didn't know what that was. But I tried not to look embarrassed by that. But I was ticked off at that. That was kind of funny, though. I don't know where that tape is now. Actually, Mary bought that Walkman from me for $50. She gave me $50 for that thing. And when I bought that share of the stock, I found out the things are worth about $47. So I really got myself some money there. I got about $45. But dadgummit, oh, I am so ticked off of this, man. That S.A.T. thing, I filled out the application to that thing to take the test. And then, exactly a week after the deadline, the late deadline, you know, where you'd have to pay the late fee anyway. That daggum thing came back in the mail. They returned that thing because I hadn't filled out that little thing where you tell which test center you're gonna take it at. All I had to put there was Commerce High School. They had a list of all of them right there on the page. And the dummy that I am, I just dadgum, I didn't even put anything there. I just assumed that if you were taking the test at your own school, you didn't have to put anything there. So I didn't put anything in there, and I sent the daggum thing in, and now it came back, and I haven't even told Mom yet. So she doesn't even know that she's got to pay $30 more to make up the standby fee that it's going to take before I can take that test. So either I'm going to have to tell her that this thing is a standby fee, and it's going to cost her $30. Actually, the standby fee is $50, and she got her $20 check returned, so actually she's got $20 more in her account than she thinks. She's probably been wondering about that. I hope not, but just gotta let her know. So she'll know that $50 standby fee. I gotta bring that thing to the school Saturday morning, October 9th, to take that test. But dadgummit, that made me mad too. Cause dadgummit, I'm not gonna be able to take it unless either I'm gonna have to pay the standby fee, get Mom and Steve to pay it, or I'm gonna have to wait until May and take it in May. But I'm gonna have to talk to Miss Roller about this. Of course, what else are you supposed to do? You know, I mean, it's too late to send the thing back in. I just have to ask her, is it possible to order the thing standby at our school? And if it is, I'll just come in Saturday with $50. If it's not, I'll just have to wait until May. Because I figured at least by October 9th, Mom and Steve will be a little bit out of this hole that they're in as far as the money. And they would at least be able to pay any standby fee or late fee. When something wrong happened, you know something wrong. Always something on my mind. First it was speeches, boy. I couldn't even ride comfortably in those carts at school because... Not at school, I mean, Dad took us down to this place with Darlene over the weekend, not this last weekend. We were with him the last weekend before that. I don't know if I told you about it on the 19th. Took us to this mini golf course. Yeah, I did tell you about it. I told you about the Far East, and I was in the go-kart, and my stomach was shaking. I don't know why I was shaking, I don't know what I was nervous about that time, you know, there was always something. Couldn't have been speeches were still 20 days away. You know, I don't start dreading something until about 5 days before. But anyway, I'm getting ticked off about that, man. I gotta keep. You know, I mean, you can't do anything. I mean, I'm costing my mom money and she doesn't even know it yet. What am I gonna do? Get up Saturday morning and say, "Oh yeah, Mom, wait a minute, I need $30 more, you know, because I got my thing returned, you know." Anyway, I think something to talk about anyway, huh? Well, I'm thinking about on Final Fantasy 2 whenever you're about to get eaten by that Golbez and then Rydia comes and save you. See, I don't know, for some reason, see, I've been in love with April and Kayla, well now I'm starting to get that way with Rydia, I have to admit it. I mean, I know it sounds really stupid to you. You just gotta forgive me for this, of course, there's nothing to forgive about love. I mean, I know, it's so stupid though. If you don't fall in love with Nintendo characters, you really don't need to. Well, I just need to listen to something tonight. I don't need to make the second side of this. Besides, the second side is that funny one where I said, "Come on, get on my mouth and stay there." Oh, yeah, I had those two good births, Brian. I hope I didn't tape over them. I really do. I'll be really ticked if I tape over them. I want to keep them. See, I've been building experience on Final Fantasy 2. I've got Cecil up to about 7,700 HPs. I don't know exactly how high that thing's going to go, but I hope it'll go over 10,000. And just squash his name in there somehow. But I hope it'll go over 10,000 one way or another. I don't know how high his level can go, but so far I think his level is 82. Whew. Jeez, 82 experience levels? Have you ever seen a game with that many experience levels? He's Dragon Warrior.
No, but... Man.
2.
And...
It's just that's gotta be cheap, you know? I mean, you can't have those good graphics the way you can with Super Nintendo. I want to try out that Final Fantasy 3 or Super Nintendo 2 when that comes out. Besides, they were advertising one in Nintendo Power. I don't know if you'll find it anywhere else, but all I've seen so far is Final Fantasy 2 and Mystic Quest. You don't find Final Fantasy 2 much anymore, but it's a good thing I did find it. Well, anyway, come on. See, some days they just don't work. I bet you don't even care how I feel right now. Well, don't worry about thinking about it. It's just hard to imagine when you're in no pain at all. You're probably past that S.A.T, not even worried about it anymore. Of course, then again, once we get past the S.A.T, something else will come up. When you have a few problems in your life, your top problem is always going to be your only problem. But by the end of this week, something will come up, whether it's detention, whether it's Steve being mad at somebody and running out or quitting his job, or Mom coming home and having been sued for the 4th time now, or whatever, you know. How many times
Really sad.
Walmart or something, and we, as we were leaving, we got behind this lady that wouldn't pull out of the road, and she had this plant in the back of her car. It looked like a giant pineapple. All you could see was the green part, and and we were thin behind her, and she wouldn't pull out, and Dad said, "Move it, plant head." That was hilarious right there, boy. And we had these Laffy Taffies, and we were reading jokes off it. And then we got to Darlene's house, and I played Final Fantasy 2 about the whole time. And I played it while we were doing that. Doing all that radio stuff, and made that tape there. And then I found, when I went in Dad's car, that's where I found the Paul McCartney, and I said, "Wait, hey, this thing's Hope of Deliverance." And I checked it, and sure enough, the 3rd song there was Hope of Deliverance. So I went to Darlene's stereo and copied it on there.
Hold on, I'm falling down.
What else did we do over the weekend anyway? We did a lot of stuff. You see, I was tired of leaving the house. We had been fishing half the day yesterday, and I went with Steve to Walmart last night to pick up something. Or Ingles or something. Went to pick up some Sweet and Low because she wanted to make some coffee for Jody because they were going to come over and play cards. And then today, they were going to, well, first they were going to take us to Memorial Park, stop by Popeyes and get some fried chicken, then we go to Memorial Park and have a picnic, and then we go to the bowling alley from there and watch them bowl, and then we come home and go straight to bed, get up the next morning and go to school. That's not how I wanted to end my weekend. I didn't want my weekend to end at 4 o'clock Sunday night. I mean afternoon. I wanted my weekend to end at 9 o'clock Sunday night. My weekend does not end at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, if I'm not home, I don't consider that recreation. I've already been away for so much, and the dadgum S.A.T tests are next weekend, which I don't even know that I'm going to be able to take because of the circumstances under which I am being, you know, and I've waited this long to tell Mom, you know. The longer I wait, the madder she's going to be about it, so I better dadgum get down and tell her. do that pretty soon. Yeah, they were Mom and Mary were talking to me earlier about what my initials should stand for, and Mom said the longest burp. I'm getting so close to laughing, I don't know. Well, maybe I'll pause it for the big burp. I don't know. See, one time I did that for a fart, but it didn't turn out to get so anyway. See, sometimes I start talking fast. I got on my critiques. One of them said that speech was sometimes fast. Another one said, boy, I couldn't believe the way my hands were shaking when I got up there. I had a hard time making that box. I was trying to tell him how if you fold it in half the wrong way, you got one of these little flower things. Tried to demonstrate that, but I just could not get that thing to work. It took me about 10 seconds to finally get it. And Miss Pritchett said we were going to judge ourselves by watching ourselves on TV, but I didn't see a video camera set up in there, so I don't know how we're going to critique ourselves. Just have to find out later. And since this tape is so long, I'm going to go ahead and pause it for that burp, so here you go. Man. Oh. Well, never mind about those. The high tomorrow is 75. So, well, they said mid-70s, so it's going to be kind of cool. I still haven't heard any songs. They say 6 of your favorites come up. I might just play my music tape. Okay. You never know when you're going to get your favorite one coming up.